Hey guys, it's Jordy _medium13 here. So it's obviously Sunday. I know I'm a bit late, but this is the weekly reading for this week. I want to start off by saying and acknowledging actually this past week for me, on a personal level, has been quite an emotional roller coaster in a sense. There's been a lot of different stuff happening personally for me, and a lot of things have come up very quickly, especially well, no, I wouldn't say so quickly, but a lot of things have come up, and I had to really face and deal with because I was suppressing a lot of stuff, and it actually caused an injury in my back. And so now I can really say, don't suppress your emotions. Make sure you feel them. Make sure you get them out and feel them. And yeah, and I guess I really wanted to acknowledge how tough of a week I kind of had in a sense. Somehow I was still able to play tennis yesterday, and I worked a function last night, but I just want to acknowledge what I personally went through. And sometimes we do have these moments, we do have these days and these weeks, and the best thing that we can do is to not be so harsh and on ourselves, and be harsh with ourselves, and really beat up on ourselves. And I feel like I feel like that is probably the biggest takeaway that I certainly got from having this, and from going through this, and going through my personal stuff. And yeah, and every day is a battle. You know, we all go through different stuff, but it's so important to not let it overtake you and overtake what you're trying to do, and what you want to get out of life too. Like, you know your path. We all know our path, and it's so important to never steer clear and never steer off that path. And I feel like personally I have done that a little bit, so that's part of the reason why I've been feeling the way I am and all of that. So I was just having a quick look at some of the cards for last week. So we had the theme for the week was reflection, and personally I do relate to that card because I feel like last week was a lot of reflecting and reminiscing, and going a lot of past issues that I didn't realise I had suppressed had come up last week. So that definitely makes sense. Monday's card was manifestation, Tuesday's was victory, Wednesday's was anxiety. Definitely had a lot of anxiety this week, so that definitely makes sense. Thursday's was love, Friday's was change, yesterday's was recognition, and today's is ambition. So totally relate to those cards. Yesterday was recognition, and it was recognizing what I was suppressing and having to feel and go through. And so yeah, that totally makes sense. And I feel like a lot of those cards for me personally came up for me, so I'm not sure if they came up for you. Let me know in the comments how you guys found last week. But yeah, totally resonated with a lot of those cards. So we might as well get to, on a more positive note, we might as well get to this week's cards. And excitingly, the theme for this coming week is happiness, so gotta love that. Monday's card is motivation, Tuesday's card is self-reflection, Wednesday's card is passion, Thursday's card is gratitude, Friday's is restriction, Saturday's is choices, and next Sunday's is reunion. So definitely some interesting cards here, and I feel more of a positive week is going to be coming this week. I definitely feel that, and I feel that on a personal level, and on a bigger level too for us all. I feel like it's going to be more of a positive week. There's so much to look forward to, there's so much going on, so yeah, there's a lot happening. So might as well get straight into it. See what's in store for us all for this coming week. So this is a joyful, positive card that predicts happiness and time for well-deserved relaxation. If life has been stressful lately, the sun is a welcome sign that the pressure will end and you'll finally be able to unwind. You'll be spending time with children or finding your inner child, doing whatever pleases you and brings you fulfillment. The sun also predicts holidays, trips, and you'll find peace and contentment in a place that nurtures and inspires you. The sun favors creative pursuits too, so you may turn your attention to hobbies and creative projects now, which will flourish. The advice is appreciate your deserved success, and this is a special time of rest and recuperation. Enjoy feeling safe and appreciate the harmony that is around you. So definitely a more positive sounding week, and I love that happiness is the theme, because to me that just makes so much sense, and the card even makes so much sense too with what I was going through and dealing with last week. And I definitely feel on a bigger scale that this week is going to be more of a positive week. And I love that this card brings with it growth and joy and protection and holidays and success and contentment. Yeah, definitely feeling this card and loving that is the theme for the week. Couldn't have picked a better card for a theme for the week. So we'll get to the next card, which is motivation. Alright, so this 3 brings energy and enthusiasm to all your activities, and in love predicts a new relationship and celebrations such as weddings and engagements. This 3 is also a brilliant card for travel and for the arts and sport too, so showing a dynamic attitude that gets results. You may find yourself taking an unusual approach to a dilemma or situation, finding ingenious ways to problem solve and get your message across. The advice is think laterally, try new things to fire your communication and creativity. So another interesting card, and I feel like that it makes so much sense, especially for me personally. I'm feeling like tomorrow is going to be so motivating, and I've got, I feel like I'm back on track. So yeah, it definitely makes sense, and I feel like on a bigger scale that I feel like motivation is something we all slip, we kind of always go in and out, especially with motivation. So I definitely feel this card, and I love that this card brings success as well, which correlates with the theme for the week. So also makes sense, and I love the originality, the travel, the arts and sport, and the creative side of us all that comes out with this card for motivation. So definitely makes sense, and I definitely agree with this card, and I love that it does correlate with the theme for the week, which is happiness. So definitely makes sense. So sounds like tomorrow is going to be a very, very interesting day. Alright, so we'll get to Tuesday's card, which is self-reflection. So it's time to revisit the past to stock before you move on. You may muse on happy memories or discover that there's unfinished business, so you find yourself being in touch with someone from the past or revisiting an old situation to find answers. At this time, you'll also be judging yourself on past actions. Did you do the right thing? An additional meaning of the card is spiritual connection, linking with those in spirit guides, angels, and loved ones. So the advice is if you feel you need to give a person a second chance or return to an old situation, now's the time to decide if you're reassessing, the past in other ways. Don't be too hard on yourself. So I definitely feel this card. Especially a lot of the things that I've been feeling and dealing with are from the past. It definitely makes sense. And I definitely feel that for me personally, this card brings more of a decision on the past. So definitely makes sense. Yeah, and I feel like we all self-reflect in our own way, and we do it often too. So definitely makes sense that this card would come up, especially for this coming week, especially because it's around the theme. The theme for the week is happiness. Definitely makes sense. So, and I love that this card brings second chances, spirituality, memories, review, self self-reflection and contemplation. So I definitely feel like it does tie in a sense with the theme for the week. So we'll get to the next card, which is Wednesday's card, which is Passion. Alright. So with this card, it's time to honor your special talents. It's time to really follow your intuition, follow the guidance that you're getting, and I love that this card brings enthusiasm, leadership, creativity, intuition, relationships, strength, and integrity. The advice is follow your intuition to make the best decisions in relationships, work, and projects. So definitely makes sense that this card also would come up. I feel like it does correlate with the theme for the week, which is happiness, and I feel like it really brings with it following your passion, following that intuition, following that guidance. So definitely makes sense. So we'll get to the next card, which is the Nine of Pentacles, gratitude. So alright, so now is the time to treat yourself to some leisure and luxury, furnishing your home, tending your garden, indulging in your favourite pursuit, or otherwise spending on yourself, as you'll be feeling rich in both time and money. You love your home, so you may redecorate, rearrange, bake, and invite others to share your relaxed comfort space. The advice is devote time and money to your interests and your home. You can be the center of your world and appreciate all the good things in life just now. So I definitely feel this card for Friday, and it definitely for Thursday, I should say, sorry. It definitely makes sense as to why it would come up, because I feel like we all could use a sense of that gratitude and being grateful for the things that we have in our life and what we've got in our lives right now. And it definitely makes sense, and I feel like it does correlate with the theme for the week, and I love that this card brings luxury and relaxation and abundance and independence and generosity. So definitely a really nice card for Thursday. Alright, so we'll get to Friday's card, which is Restriction. So I already feel like with this card, it's something might come up that we may feel is restricting us in some way. So yeah, definitely an interesting card to come up. Alright, so 8s mean change, and this 8 sees you on the brink of that change as you realise the way you're being restricted by your circumstances at work, in a relationship, or a project. The card shows a relationship is on lockdown because one of you is not free to make a commitment. An additional meaning is being bound by too much responsibility. I just want to pause there for a second, because this card makes so much sense, and it definitely relates to what I've been feeling. I have been feeling a bit restricted in a sense, so it definitely makes sense with what I've been going through personally. So I can already feel that this card has come up because either the restriction that I'm feeling has gotten to a point where I need to really act on it, or I have finally made a decision and have decided to speak up on what I'm going through. And yeah, so definitely makes sense. So the advice is get practical and see that you're in control of your own future, regardless of what others think. You can free yourself by being less tolerant of the demands of others. So definitely makes sense, and I love that this card in a sense brings that clear. It does bring a lack of vision, but I feel like once you get through that restriction, you find that vision again, and it brings responsibility and change. So yeah, definitely makes sense, and I feel like it does correlate in a weird way to the theme, because without change and without restriction, we wouldn't be able to find that happiness. So definitely makes sense. So we'll get to the next card, which is Choices. Alright, so there's this one's Saturday's card, so there's a mature decision to make as you reach a turning point. You may need to make an investment in the future, a financial plan, buying a home or moving for work, for example. The choice isn't straightforward. In relationships, you bond and commit, or you walk away. An additional meaning of the card for those who are single is be ready for a new serious love relationship. Love is coming. The advice is make your choice based on your long-term future rather than short-term gains. In love, wait for the right person rather than distract yourself with flirtations. So, again, makes sense. I feel like we all have choices, and I love that this is the Lovers card of the tarot, especially of this tarot deck. So, and again, I definitely feel like it correlates with happiness with the theme, because love and happiness, they're hand in hand, so definitely makes sense. So we'll get to next Sunday's card, which is reunion. I already feel like this card is going to relate to either someone coming back into your life in some way, or I feel like it's going to be something to do with that. So reunion, next Sunday. So it's saying you gather together with friends and family to celebrate. So this 3 predicts weddings, parties, reunions, and precious time with people you love who make you feel like your true self. Their company is uplifting, fun, and replenishing. If you're single and looking for love, there may also be an opportunity for a flirtation. And if you're working on a creative project, now is the time to get in the zone. The advice is be carefree, enjoy the company of those who make you laugh. So definitely makes sense that this card came up next Sunday, as I'm actually going to be studying Reiki next week, so I'm starting next Sunday. Definitely makes sense that this card has come up, and I actually love that this card brings celebration, friendship, healing, fun, flirtation, indulgence, and creativity, and I definitely feel like it goes hand in hand with happiness for the theme for the week. So yeah, it definitely sounds like a more positive, uplifting, and vibrant week this week. I'm so excited for what's coming this week, especially starting Reiki and really taking that big step in the right direction and on my path. So, kind of feels silly for having that bit of a funny week last week, but it happens to the best of us. So I hope you guys really enjoy this weekly reading. I hope you guys get a lot out of it and feel a lot of it for yourselves, and let me know in the comments what you guys feel about these cards. Let me know if you feel like this relates to you in any way for this week, and if last week related to you in some way. So let me know, and I'll see you guys next Sunday for the next weekly reading. Thanks, guys.